From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell. ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good evening, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Thursday, December 21st, 2023. Just 3 shopping days till Christmas Eve, I guess. You can still shop at Christmas Eve. Remember back in the day, I used to run to the mall on Christmas Eve, get all those great specials, and then I had some high school friends that had a little kiosk that for a small fee would wrap the presents after. So I look like a star just going out one afternoon during the shopping season. Nowadays, no one leaves the couch. They just go online. My girls, and I assume most people do, when they want a gift, they just send you a link now. You hit the link, you put your credit card in there, and then they deliver it right to you, or they ship it to the other person's house. So crazy world we live in. Shout out to the two gentlemen behind the glass, Joseph Shea, Evan Lewis. God bless you guys. Happy and Merry Christmas. And of course, our proud partnership and sponsor, WagerWire, to their team, their community, their followers. Guys, buckle up. 2024 is going to be off the charts. And as Karen Carpenter once sang, we've only just begun, guys. And it's going to be fun ride. So I hope everyone enjoys it. If you have not downloaded the app, the logo is right there in the top of the corner. Run over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps and download it. It's free. Start tracking your bets. Good way here. We got 10 days left of 2023. So start tracking your bets today. Start keeping track of your ROI. Let's turn this entertainment and just for fun into some win, grin, and profit. And if you're looking to make some quick flash cash, send an email to the affiliate program. Affiliates at wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Zach, Travis, the rest of that team and community will take good care of you. But without further ado, let's head to the South Side. The one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my friend. Good to see you again over here. I am doing just fine myself, getting ready for Christmas Eve in a few days, like you said there. I myself, I'm getting better as the more I grow up here. But I used to, when I was in high school and college, would actually go out on December 23rd in the craziest parts of the shopping days and be mobbed by crowds of people. So I've gotten away from that. Most of it is done here. Might have some last second things to take care of, but nonetheless, excited for the holiday season. Not just the holiday season, but the week of sports that we've got coming up. So had some fun these last couple of 2 or 3 days here solo, but glad to have you here with me again, my friend. But we've got some NFL tonight, a random bowl game I know. As well as some good basketball. And I guess I didn't look at hockey as I'm not the hockey guy, but I assume there's some good hockey tonight. But I know there's some good basketball, good football tonight. That's for sure.
Going back to the glory days of shopping, of course, we'll date ourselves here. When I was just a young kid, our shopping consisted, actually, our Christmas list this is what would happen. We'd go up to our Grams on Thanksgiving, and then we would pass around the Sears and Roebuck catalog that was like this thick, and I'd always have the Patriot bean bag. I'd always have this, and I'd have a list a mile long. And then come Christmas Eve, it was pair of socks, it was a shirt, a sweatsuit, and I never got that bean bag. But as we progressed, my younger college days and 20s and 30s, running out into the chaos. We love chaos, and that's what we do here. Getting into those shopping malls where, again, shopping malls were a huge thing. I mean, finding a parking spot, starting at one end, going to the other, and getting as much as you could, maybe going to the car and put some bags in there to come back. To nowadays, I get the Amazon truck here every other day. I mean, it's Christmas Day every other day here on Cape Cod at the Dawson residence. So times have definitely changed. Society has changed. And I guess at this point, I just wish everyone a happy and Merry Christmas. Not always the easiest times for a lot of people, whether it's health, loss of loved ones, and stuff like that. But we're here to put smiles on the faces and hopefully decorate the tree. We can stuff a few stockings. The ECSI VIPs last night, Jesus, you just wish you had more nights like this. 3-0 sweep with some pizza and beer money. It's one of those games that we had NC State team total over 80 and a hook. And at halftime at 33 didn't look good, but had a couple spurts. And then with 4 minutes to go, Riley, we just needed 3 points. They were at 78. And I will just tell you this, it took 3 minutes and 38 seconds, I swear, to get to 80. They end on 82. How do they do that? We cashed that ticket. Winnipeg Jets, team total over 3.5. They get to 5. We cashed that in the second period. And the real nice one, we had the San Francisco Dons, I think, against Northern Arizona. Pizza and beer money minus 9.5 for the first half, up 20 at half, win by 40. And they cover the full game for the 3-0 sweep. And then, of course, the pizza and beer came in at halftime. So great to have those tape days. Is on Sunday. So good time to be alive here at ECSI.
100%. You were cutting up a little bit there, but I heard everything you said. But as far as action parlays go, I haven't had a chance to rant about this on the air, and I should have done it while I was solo. But kudos to you. You got your Sunday action parlay. I had the not to you for bad choice of words here. I had the tease, the letdown of all letdowns on my own Sunday action parlay. To the point where I was starting to stand up and celebrate. I had all the legs. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 4 or 5. I think it was 4, and the fourth one was the over 48.5 in the Washington and the LA Rams football contest, my friend. And if anyone was watching that or had anything similar to mine, got a nice rally from both teams in the second half, had a lot of points. And then the Washington Commanders, I think, took about 4 minutes down 2 scores from the 1 yard line, if I'm not mistaken. That's one thing. But get the touchdown to get it to, I want to say 28-20 for a total of 48. Subsequently, with a extra point block, and I'm on the edge of my seat for half the game. That's the only other thing I've got for the day. And I'm like, all right, well, we got to have a lot of points, and the points started coming, and then they get to the red zone with 4 or 5 minutes left, and I'm feeling real good. Down to, I don't remember when they scored, but I want to say under the 2 minute or right around the 2 minute they score, and then the extra point gets blocked. And my day is not as ceremonious as yours, but obviously always with those situations, pizza and beer money, so it is fun. But would have been nice to get that one going into this week, but I'm doing fine outside of that.
And it's funny because the commentators did talk about it. They bench Sam Howell. They bring in Brissett. He moves him right down. 3 catches by McLaren. In comes Curtis Samuel. Yeah, 2 drives inside the 10, and they got stuffed the first time. They come back with the second one. And nowadays, when you're down 7 points and going for that extra point, now a lot of guys are going for the 2 there. Hey, let's get the 2 there and the touchdown. And they bring out the field goal kicker. And I'm like,
Jeff,
okay. And then sure enough, it's blocked.
And having seen that, I was like, oh my God, just kick the extra point, Ron. Don't go for 2. I know you're Riverboat Ron, but not in the type of analytics era that we're in now. It's just aggressive in certain cases. That one I don't think's reached Ron yet. So then I'm jumping for joy that they're bringing the extra point out. And then I couldn't believe my eyes. So that one was sour. But no, you're right. On top of everything that you said, I mean, you said McLaurin, getting going, but he finally looked fantastic the other day. His talent has not gone away. It's just him and Sam Howell's connection still needs to get there because he looked fantastic the other day in that game against the Rams there. So interested to see if he can stay that productive because that was his biggest game of the year if I'm not mistaken there.
Yeah, and it will be interesting. Bill Belichick is linked to Washington. Ron Rivera supposedly is dead man walking. What do they do? Obviously, with Eric Bieniemy, do they move him from OC to head coach? Does he go on somewhere else? Do they bring Bill in? And a wide receiving core, huge fan of Terry McLaurin. Very, very disappointed this year. I thought a lot more of Jahan Dotson would have happened. That did not happen. And the thorn in everyone's fantasy side, Curtis Samuel just keeps on stealing plays. And so if I am an NFL team, I am on the horn with Washington to see if Terry's available. If not, maybe you could get a Jahan Dotson on the cheap.
No, I'm 100% with you. And I it would be surprising kind of to see them part ways with McLaurin, but unless they're using him in the right ways, I mean, he's the one that, he kind of is what he is. Maybe he can improve, but he's 28 years old. He kind of is what he is. So you should be able to still get a haul for him. I know there's obviously a lot of teams that would love to have him. I don't know quite what his locker room character is. I'm not saying good or bad. I honestly don't really know. He seems like a great dude. I can't remember if he's nominated as Walter Payton Man of the Year or if he's, he was up for consideration or what, but seems like a good dude all around. So no, I think it would obviously depend on what the moves at the the coaching staff is as far as what they want to do from that standpoint. Because it wouldn't surprise me if they move on from him, but wouldn't surprise me if someone came in if they make another move and they say, of course I don't want this guy to leave. This guy's a stud. Let's figure out how to make him the focal point of the offense here.
Shout out to Marty Lowe. Happy holidays, Marty. Roll Tide as you're getting closer to the big game. January 1st, not December 31st, January 1st this year. The Rose Bowl, Michigan versus Alabama, a line that is opened at 2.5, got it as low as 1. Looks like it's tipping back to 2. A lot of back and forth, which obviously the casinos love. We'll be breaking that down next week, of course. You talked about the NFL tonight. You talked about the bowl game. Got a lot of people watching and listening. Thank you, guys. Listen, without you guys, these shows are nothing. We're just talking to ourselves, and that's what we're not here for. If you're not following us, jump on over to Twitter at EC Sports Invest, at Riley_Magnuson, the one. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, this would be huge. Jump on over to YouTube to East Coast Sports Investors. Subscribe. It's free. And obviously turn on your notifications so you never miss a show. 2024, the start of our 9th year at ECSI. Some big things coming. We will keep you guys on speed dial for that. A lot in the media side, a lot on the national level side. So, we started here January 1st, 2015, light years ahead of 99.9% of them. Same face, less hair, more gray hair, but we're still here doing what we do best, is trying to break the games down, trying to show you guys value, try to talk some props, some futures, and build those portfolios. So this is not entertainment. This can become a second stream of income, or nevertheless, keep you out of the loser's circle and obviously into the winner's circle. Riley, I mean, let's go to the NFL game. 8:15 New Orleans Saints travel to the Rams. My true number was Rams 2.5 with a 42. Now it's up to 4 with a 45. Listen, in August, I said this Rams over was 5.5. No way in hell they're going over that. Of course, I was wrong. McVay, Stafford, Kupp, Puka, Kieran Williams, the defense, they've found ways to win games. The Saints, Derek Carr, thanks but no thanks. Taysom Hill, a fantasy killer. Michael Thomas checked out as usual. Olave says he's going to play today. Alvin Kamara, after his suspension, a great year. Just outside, looking inside, I got this Rams team rolling here. 7-10 point, victors. This has got written to me 24-13, 24-17. But the more I think about it, something smells here, Riley.
Something does smell a little bit. I mean, I do think the number is, as you said, whatever you're. I don't. Did you say opening number or true number 2.5?
True. The true number was 2.5.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. Just making sure I heard you correctly there. No, and I think that is, more closer to what it should be, and I do think it is inflated. And I'm with you as far as something does smell a little bit here. My hesitation with being interested in the Saints is, they're coming in playing, obviously looking nicely the last 3 weeks to get 2 wins in a row. A tough loss the week before that to the Lions, who obviously that's not a bad loss. That's, just a close loss that they, had a chance to win that game. So their offense is obviously playing well, but the last 3 games have all been at home. Those 3 games, and the last 2, their defense has been great, but it's single digits holding the Giants and Carolina down. So, how much can you really put stock in that as you go on the road here? And really, the other aspect of it, and I think why the Rams have become a public side here, is because Matt Stafford, the last 4 games, I mean, over the last 4 games, you could argue he's been the MVP of these last 4 games in the NFL here. For whatever that's worth here. So he's as hot as any quarterback in the league right now. So I think that's why you're getting the inflated side here. So I'm with you as far as the gut. You and I are very much on the same thing, on the same side, or same side here. Thinking the Rams should take care of business here, because I am kind of expecting some offensive step back from the Saints here. But you never know. Rams defense the last 2-3 games here, 2 games. Didn't look quite as solid from start to finish. I could see them slipping up and maybe the Saints moving the ball a little bit, but the Saints offense is just so weird and so hard to predict. That's why I'm not overly excited to try and fit my way into this game. Looking back at the last few games, it's a lot of their drives are either 3 and outs or they go on a 10-play 70-yard drive and find the end zone, and they don't really, and a lot of times they don't have those in between 8-play 40 yards punt or maybe a game or two where they're getting field goals. But a lot of their games, it's really weird where they're either punting 3 and out, 5 plays, 6 plays, punting quick on 10 yards, or they're going on a nice long drive and they look like the offense that we've expected them to look like this year. So I'm kind of taking a step back, but I do expect this Rams offense to be able to move the ball here. I don't expect the Saints defense to be as good as they've been the last few weeks here. So I'm with you. I think it lands right around what that team total for the Rams is. And like you said, I don't remember if you said 23 or 24. So I'm kind of with you, but maybe the Saints offense is able to put some points up and it's a 24-21 type game or something like that.
Yeah, I have team total right now, New Orleans, 20.5 juice under -135. So if you like the Saints and you're unsure of the spread, you can get them to get to 21 or better at +115 right now. The Rams team total, 24.5, also juiced under -120. Again, if you like the Rams, you're unsure of the spread, the inflated number, you can get the Rams to get to 25 or better at even money right now, where if I was to play the game, that's probably where I would be looking at, is a Rams team total over 24.5 at even money. Get me to 27, 28, 30. I've been rattling my head here for, first touchdown and anytime touchdowns. and no, nothing is sticking out to me. On the Saints side, we always try to dig deep. The old man himself, when he gets onto the field inside the red zone, Jimmy Graham, I think now has 4 touchdowns this year. So
On 6
that
catches.
is a sleeper in the back. Yes. 6 catches, 4 touchdowns. Now, let me tell you, that's using your catches to the utmost there. So the deep threat there, I don't know if Rashid is in or is it A.T. Perry. So those would be the sleepers on the Saints side, Riley.
I'm with you. You don't have to tell me too much about A.T. Perry. I mean, I've been expecting him to take a bigger step up these last few weeks, and he hasn't really been. I was just a massive. It's almost me being. I was almost overly biased, but really, kind of thinking I had a little bit of an edge with a guy who was crazy talented and crazy successful at Wake Forest the last few years. I mean, the dude lived in the end zone. I think I could be wrong. If not double-digit touchdowns, it was one that was close and another one that was 16, 17 or something like that at Wake Forest with a good offense there. So as far as red zone threat and a touchdown threat, that is the guy that I'm always interested in. But for me, I became such a big fan that I've been trying to hold myself back these last few weeks from going off the deep end on him. I think I had one little prop on him one of these weeks and it was okay. But I'm with you as far as a sleeper on the Saints side. I'm seeing some odds for Shaheed. I don't know what his availability is for sure, but I do see the odds for him. 330 anytime, 20-1. First touchdown there. A.T. Perry 7-1 anytime, 35-1 on the first touchdown there. So I mean, you take a big swing at A.T. Perry, you get some nice big odds there. Juwan Johnson is the other guy. I don't know how often he'll be on the field tonight, but if we're looking at tight ends. But obviously gotten overshadowed, like you said, by Jimmy Graham. So maybe they try to bring him back into the fold a little bit. As far as the Rams side of it goes, I mean, Kyron Williams is minus 205 for any time. I'll stay away from Cooper Kupp night. Maybe a nice Puka evening. Puka, maybe for some yards. He's obviously not as much of a red zone threat as some of these other guys. So. I'll go tight end tonight for the Rams. I'll go Higbee to get that first touchdown for the Rams, and at any time, 15-1 for the Rams there on Higbee.
Obviously the two chalks over there would be Cooper Kupp, and Kyren Williams has just been off the rails. I mean, another fantasy darling. Not only does he come off the street and he's just amazing, gets hurt. And it was funny because he misses 2-3 weeks, however long it was. And in the big week in you're either in or you're out, I had to face him first week back, and he puts up the 40 burger. He led the whole NFL in fantasy points. So just say he's not on our Christmas card list this year at ECSI. From the Rams, God. I like the Higbee angle. I really do. I'll stay away from the chalk, which is Kupp and Kyren Williams. I'll go Puka gets back into the end zone. What's his first, and then what's his anytime?
First I see is 8-1 anytime, 135 plus 135.
Yeah, that's the chalk. I mean, at 135, it is what it is, but maybe you can get lucky there and sneak in the first one there at 8-1. So, but again, it's a Thursday night game, and a couple days before Christmas, it's going up against where we're going now. Syracuse, South Florida. Syracuse down to their third string quarterback, I heard. While I was doing a show live in LA today at 3:00, Jeffrey Benson at Circa, they moved the line from 3 to 2.5. It's back to 3 now. Syracuse, South Florida, the Boca Raton Bowl. So I don't know how far South Florida is to Boca Raton, but I'm seeing a 3 on that game. And let me see if it's moved anymore for you.
I see a 3.5 somewhere. I think FanDuel's got it up to 3.5.
Let me see here. Yeah, FanDuel, Pennsylvania has it at 3.5. Everywhere else, a flat 3 with a 55.5. And that total surprises me because you would think with backup quarterback versus the South Florida, who doesn't play a lot of defense, you'd think that number would be going down, and it hasn't. You're under over. My true numbers initially was 3 with a 59. It's now 3 with a 56. I'm looking at team totals. South Florida, 26.5. One spot juiced under -120. One spot juiced over -120. And I see Syracuse stuck on 29.5. So my play on this game, even it's against my will and against all that I'm thinking about. Syracuse coach gone, new coach coming in from Georgia, I think an offensive or defensive coordinator. Great story. If you haven't seen it or saw his press conference, Google it. You'll really love to hear what this guy has to say. I'm going to take the Syracuse team total over 29.5.
I like it, and I think the one other thing as far as like a public perception of this game is South Florida. I think a lot of people that the only thing they know of South Florida is that they hung with Alabama for 3 quarters right before Alabama took off. You know what I mean? So obviously that was a low-scoring game, but I think people would probably, the average person would probably give that edge to them if they realize that, as opposed to a Syracuse team who doesn't have their starting quarterback in. So I'm with you, and like you said, they don't, which was as even more surprising about that Alabama game, but I think you just throw that one out the window completely. But they don't play defense very well. Their games are typically pretty high scoring, so wouldn't surprise me if they struggled offensively here against a tougher, a Power 5 opponent here in Syracuse. But I'll ride with you on the over team total. I didn't have too strong of thoughts on it, but other than kind of hesitating on certain people's love for South Florida there, so I'll ride with you on the over 29.
Before we go to the NBA, everyone grab your pens and pencils. I'll quickly go through the NHL team totals for everyone here. Then I'm going to give you the board. Let me just give me a second. Of course, my mouse wants to take some time off now. Bear with me. That's NBA for you. Grab your pens. Vegas at Tampa. You can, if you like either side of this game, you can get Vegas team total over 3.5 plus 130. Great value there. Or if you like Tampa tonight, who you can get their team total over 3.5 at plus 125. So keep an eye on if either side, instead of playing the side or the over under there, you're looking for some plus money value. Vegas team total over 3.5 plus 130, or Tampa team total over 3.5 plus 125 there. Carolina Hurricanes team total over 3.5 plus 110 at Pittsburgh. Nothing there. This could be a trap, but I'll say it anyways. Toronto team total over 3.5 minus 120. They travel to Buffalo. Or the big swing here is Buffalo team total over 3.5 plus 130. We had Buffalo earlier this week, team total over 3.5 against Columbus, trailing 7-1. 7-1, and we end up cashing as they lose 9-4. So they're giving up goals. So you can get in either way on that side. There, Florida Panthers tonight, team total over 3.5. You can get it minus 120 as well, or 125 actually. It looks like there. Edmonton, New Jersey. I've seen the under over a 7 here. I think a lot of people will jump in here on this. If you don't want to bet the over 7 and you want to take a side, you can get either Edmonton or New Jersey team total over 3.5 at minus 105. So either one of those teams to get to 4 at minus 105 there. Dallas Stars at home against Vancouver. You can get Dallas to get to 4 or better. 3.5 over plus 110 there. Colorado at home against Ottawa. Team total over 3.5 minus 125. Calgary at Anaheim. Team total over 3.5 at minus 115. And last but not least, The Yotes, the Arizona Coyotes, team total over 3.5, even money as they travel to Do You Know the Way to San Jose, Riley?
I would like to know. I hope we can figure it out tonight, my friend. But that is a very solid cap on the old NHL board tonight. Yeah, like I said, I don't typically take too much of a peek at the NHL because I'm not the guy for that. But whenever we got a board like this, I do watch it. I just from time to time, I just you don't know the sport as well. So, anyways, going into the NBA, my friend. My Bulls, I'll start off with my Bulls. They're not the first one on the evening here, but 6-point favorites at home against the Spurs. This line has climbed over the last few hours here, up from I know I saw it at 4.5 a lot of points in the day. I think it was even at flat 4 earlier in the day. Seems like a fishy situation a little bit here with the way the Bulls have really improved this last couple of weeks here with no Zach LaVine and now Kobe White ascending into playing like an all-star just flat out here this last month or last few weeks. I actually was these two teams played December 8th, so almost 2 weeks ago in San Antonio, and the Bulls were only 2-point favorites or something like that. And I thought, and it was a Friday night. I thought it was it looked like it was for most of the game. The Bulls, Spurs getting the upset special and ending their win streak. Bulls had a great last 2 minutes of that game and pulled away. This is a goofy matchup for the Bulls here, just in general. I think the Spurs team actually, I think they do cover tonight on the 6. Their offense has been better at times, the Spurs team here. So I think the Bulls are on upset watch here at home against the Spurs team. They have been playing a little scrappier lately and flirting with they obviously ended their win streak, flirting with the win here and there. But it's a tough matchup. I mean, not a tough matchup for the Bulls, but not as good of a matchup as you might expect there. And like I said, even if you are interested in the Bulls, you're missing a number that was 4.5 much earlier here in the day. Not even that far, previously in the day there. So concerned about the Bulls tonight, despite how well they've been playing. I think 7-3 without Zach LaVine. So, loving Kobe White Express right now, but trying to find a nice trade package to get him out over to LA there. But the 7-3 without him isn't really helping his trade value all that much right now. But anyways, Detroit, the Detroit Pistons on a 23-24 game losing streak, Jeff, are favorites tonight in Detroit. Not trying to get in front of the train, as we always say. The splits that I was looking at kind of make this one look like a kind of a pros versus Joes situation here. The public is all over the Jazz against this dumpster fire Pistons team. And obviously the people who are putting big money down, looks like they're putting bigger money down on the Pistons tonight. Not sure what to expect out of this one. You have a couple guys out for the Jazz, so it would not surprise me if this losing streak continued. Wouldn't surprise me if the Pistons took care of business at home, and that's the reason why they're favored here tonight. So that one, I'm not diving in either way. That one is a pump in the brakes situation there. Another number that was interesting. Got to look at the injury report as we get closer to the game. Clippers and OKC Thunder. Thunder minus 6.5-point favorites at home against the Clippers team that has won. I lost their winning streak here. They've won 9 in a row. This Clippers team. It does look like 9 in a row. Kawhi and Paul George questionable. No Paul George last night. This is they did play last night and won in Dallas. Now they're up to OKC. No Paul George last night. Kawhi was in the lineup last night. Now they're both questionable, so not sure if it's planned. One's going to play one game, the other's going to play the other, or if one or both of them are out tonight. I would imagine with this line that one of them, if not both of them, are out. But another situation where if they're both playing and we're sticking right at 5.5, 6.5, then I'm interested in that Thunder team to take care of business. And obviously they're 17-8. They've been very good. They've been playing well themselves. Covering pretty well at home as well. So that one, depending on the injury news, of course, if they're both out and it doesn't change too much, then I might be a little concerned. But felt like a number that was a statement for the Thunder pending the injury news there. The Grizzlies with Ja Morant back, the buzzer beater the other night. Now they're favorites at home against a Pacers team who's 14-12, not playing their best after the in-season tournament stretch there. Had a small little losing streak there. So not sure what to expect out of this one. Again, you had the emotional win with Ja Morant back on the road there. Now they're back home. The crowd's going to be going crazy for Ja, but I have to imagine the average person is just firing away on this Grizzlies team just being back. So I'm kind of pumping the brakes on that one. Also pumping the brakes with the way Indiana's playing. They might lay an egg themselves here. Their offense, with them, one of the teams having those high totals. They, for a week there with a losing streak, had a 104, 96, 97, and then, or I'm sorry, I'm looking at Memphis. Had a 109 performance, bounced back a little bit, 127. I was looking at the wrong team there for a second, but still having some offensive issues as compared to where they were there. So I'll lean towards the Pacers, but it wouldn't surprise me what happens in that one. I could see the Grizzlies kind of falling back after that first emotional game there. And then these last three games don't have the strongest thoughts there. Orlando, I think they were home last night, and now they're in Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, home last night for the Heat. They've lost 3 in a row. 8.5 point favorites, 8.5 point favorites for the Bucks there. They're playing hot basketball right now. So seems kind of like a statement against a 16-10 team. That number 238, actually, believe it or not, is a lot lower than what they've had this last week or so. So kind of in the middle of that Orlando where their totals typically sit at. But I'll lean towards the under on Orlando and Milwaukee there on the 238 being a not as high of a total somehow as what those Bucks see. So. And then you've got the Lakers coming off of a back-to-back to my Bulls in Minnesota, 8.5 point dogs are the Lakers, but it looks like no LeBron tonight, and Anthony Davis is questionable, so another one that you got to look out for the injury report for there. But this Timberwolves team, obviously, they did lose a couple days ago, but obviously still 20-6, taking care of business for the most part there. But don't have strong thoughts on that one. Anything else that you'd like to comment on there, my friend?
No, great report as always, especially in the NBA, guys. If I can add this, the injury report triggers a lot of bad bets in sports, and especially the NBA, where you've been staring at numbers all day, and then you get across the ticker, or whether you're watching ESPN, Fox, VSiN, Sports Grid, whatever you're watching, all of a sudden you see LeBron is out. And then you're like, oh my God, I got to go run to that window. Well, guys, Vegas is light years ahead of you. These numbers are shaded and in certain directions on the assumption LeBron is out. And I just picked LeBron out of the hat.
But it's a good example.
We know Zach LaVine hasn't played in 10 games. So that does. Yes. So you see Anthony Davis is already ruled out. No. LeBron ruled out and Anthony Davis is questionable, or vice versa, whatever it is. The point is, if you see they're both out and you're like, oh my God, I got to go run to the window. This is a layup. Yeah, okay. Trust me, those numbers are already set. So when you run to the window, here's a game for you. Next time you're sitting in a sports book at your local casino, whatever state you guys live in, I want you to take some snapshots. So some visual shots of all the people that run to the window. They got to beat the bell. It's like when I'm at the horse track. Yeah, give me this 1, 2, 3 with the 3, 4, 5 with the 1, 2, 3, just as the race is going up. Those people that run to the window, you never see them walk back to cash the ticket. So if you all of a sudden get this sudden urge, like, oh my God, I got to go play this game, do yourself a favor. Breathe, count to 10, and then evaluate it, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to lose. Okay, so the moral of this little sermon is the injury report and these numbers, whether it's NBA, college basketball, NFL, whatever it is, they're already baked in. Now you could see big movements in a football total where it was supposed to be 75 and sunny, and next thing you know, there's going to be 45-mile-an-hour winds and 4 inches of rain because in comes a hurricane and the total goes from 55 to 35. Well, I get those sudden movements, but for the most part, that those injuries are already baked in, Riley.
100%, and the Clippers, the Thunder game is another. A lot of Clippers games are typically a good example, but the Clippers are another good example where, and people look at us like we're crazy when we say it sometimes, but 6.5 point total or spread right now. And if Kawhi and Paul George are both ruled out and that number sticks right at 6.5 or even goes down to 6, then that's pretty concerning. And I might be interested in the Clippers without those two. and vice versa. If they're ruled in and they're both good to go and all systems go, and that number doesn't go down to 4.5, 3.5, whatever, then I'm interested in the Thunder there at the 6.5 with that game tonight. So if one of them's out and the other one's not, then it's a little different story. But kind of using both of them here as an example of even more drastic there. But a lot of situations like that where it doesn't quite make a ton of sense. But we had a stretch last year for a solid month where it was an absurd success rate of using that in the NBA, of using that thought process of depending on who's in and who's out and what the line does or in a lot of cases doesn't do, you could fire away on one side of it there. And like I said, there's a certain stretch of the season where it is very successful.
And a perfect example here, guys, is the Celtics 2 nights ago play at Golden State, up 17. Steph Curry, 5 fouls, can't foul him out. Celtics miss 41 free throws. Curry pulls one out of his ass, goes to overtime, and Golden State wins. Well, the Celtics got to play the next night at Sacramento, 2.5-point dogs. Everyone remembers what they saw last. Oh, and let me just tell you this. No Jason Tatum. So you got no Jason Tatum on a back-to-back after blowing a 17-point lead. The whole world was on the Kings, and the Celtics at one point were up 40 and won by 30. So pump the brakes on the NBA, pump the brakes on the injuries, who's in, who's out. Great call on the Clippers there because you see no Kawhi, no Paul George. You still have Russell Westbrook. You still have the bearded god, James Harden, and you got 2 more bench guys. It's like the math problem. Okay, I got a full team, and Michael Jordan's not playing tonight, and he's averaging 27 points a game. Well, the Bulls were favored by 8 with Michael playing, and the line drops to 3.5 because Michael's out. It's a 5-point move. Well, he's averaging 27 points. You only move the line 5. Who's making up for that other 22 points? The brain doesn't wrap yourself around that. That's what these other paid professionals are for. So they want to sell the sizzle. Oh, LeBron's out, Kawhi's out, Paul George, yada, yada, yada. Just sit back on the recliner, go grab a cold one, and let someone else worry about it.
100%, my friend. That was a good way to close out the NBA for tonight. Not the most star-studded college slate of the night. Last night was a very a lot of big games last night. Not so much the case tonight. You've got the big rivalry, Kentucky-Louisville, but obviously Louisville program is kind of at a little bit better than last year, which the rock bottom was last year. But still, if last year was one of the worst seasons of their program, this might be number 2. But they are at least improved from last year. But nonetheless, whether it's that game or anything else, I didn't have too much to talk about with this college slate. A lot of big spreads tonight. A lot of some ranked teams playing some some tin cans here for the most part. So. Anything to make note of out of this college basketball slate before we get out of here?
No, I'm just going to say this. I was on the show this afternoon, and the headliner was UConn gets blown out at Seton Hall. Is it time to panic for the Huskies? And anyone that has amnesia, go back to last year. We came into Big East conference play, I think 9-1, and we lost 4 of the first 5 there, and then we lost in the semifinals of the Big East, got ourselves ready, and traveled on and won 6 in a row and cut the nets down. If you don't understand the Big East by now, going up to that game, UConn had lost 1 game all year, and that was by 4 points to Kansas. This team is loaded, okay? But in the Big East, you win your home games and you hope to go 500 on the road. It is almost impossible to win on the road in the Big East. A couple nights ago, Marquette, 5-point favorites at Providence, get boat raced. The UConn Huskies opened at 11, closed at 8, get boat raced. Creighton at home, who's the biggest fraud in the Big East. They've already lost to Colorado State. They've lost to UNLV. 9-point favorites last night at home against Villanova with no Justin Moore. They lose, okay? So in the Big East, you got Marquette, you got UConn. Villanova is a dark horse. Providence ain't going anywhere. So just pump the brakes, anyone here that's questioning my Huskies. They'll be fine, Riley. They'll be fine.
They will be fine, and I'm glad you said that because I didn't have the best week on the solo shows with the other big games, but the two that I nailed were the Providence upset, and I was a little more closer to wishy-washy, thinking UConn could maybe get a win but not cover. But those were the two biggest winners that I had in or thoughts that I had in college basketball, and it looks. I mean, it felt similar to me. I mean, the line wasn't quite the same last night as that Providence Marquette game, but I can't imagine Marquette fans are saying, doom and gloom. This is the end of the road either. So a lot of teams, especially in that conference, that are not going to be going away anytime soon, and a lot of teams like that, Seton Hall, Providence, that are going to be tough and stingy on their home floor, and in a couple of cases on the road there. So Big East, as fun a conference as we have this year. I'm excited for the whole year of that one.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts, nothing too crazy, nothing too much going on now as we get in around the Christmas time in the Big Ten Conference, my friend, for basketball. But whatever we do have, I know there's one or two on, or maybe one on Saturday. Rutgers hosting Mississippi State. But aside from that, talking on Saturday, it sounds like you and I will be talking all things whatever we got on the weekend, but obviously NFL slate for the weekend, maybe some college bowls. Maybe taking a peek at a couple of the big college bowl games, as well as whatever else we can find on this weekend. So I'm excited for Saturday morning, my friends. So tune in. Not going to be on the air tomorrow morning for the typical Friday morning show, but kind of pivoting to Saturday without too much Big Ten basketball going on this weekend. So ready to rock and roll for that, and we'll see what we can get ourselves into on Saturday morning.
Did I get you?
I got you now. I don't know if it was me or you, but I lost you for a second.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone watching and listening, of course, thank you. Tomorrow, we're going to go to our Friday schedule, 1:00. Me and Sean Childs, the Dog and Desperados, will talk DraftKings, trying to take down the Millie as we're running out of weeks to do that. 3:00 or 3:30, have not confirmed yet. Myself, Matt Grissom, and hopefully Quentin Mills will talk some college football and bowl games, and then we'll wrap up Friday, of course, with Ron Marmalevsky live from LA, as we're going to talk some NFL and college as well. Myself and Riley will be back Saturday morning around 11:30 Eastern, maybe somewhere around there. We got 2 NFL games, talk some college bowl games, talk some college basketball. Might peek into the Sunday slate. And, of course, on Christmas Day, there's 5 NBA games and there's 3 NFL games. And we'll be letting everyone enjoy their holidays. And we'll be back full force on Tuesday, back to the regular shows. For next week, I do know myself and Anthony Pepe and Sports Map Radio will be live in Watertown Tuesday night hosting a BC football game. And then on Thursday, myself, Anthony, and Sports Map Radio will be live from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. live show, SMU BC, the Wasabi Bowl, live from Fenway Park. And myself and Anthony will then be at the game as we were for Media Row and on the field for the Army-Navy game. So again, guys, thank you guys so much. Show us some love on social media with some likes, some retweets, some notifications on. Run to YouTube and subscribe. And big, huge plans for 2024, guys. I can't let the cat out of the bag yet. There's a bunch of stuff in the works. And of course, the Wager Wire team, community, Zach, Travis, big things planned, whether it's with Jake Paul and Better, art stations, and potentially a few more to come. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. Wish everyone a blessed evening. Have some fun, cash some tickets, and I will see you tomorrow.